Well, welcome to the Agent as Investor series, where we explore the intersection of real estate expertise and personal investing journeys. Today, I'm excited to be here with Olympia. Together, we recently completed her first flip project, and Olympia's share of the profits, including commissions on the list and the relist, totaled an incredible $200,000. But this is not just about the money. It's really about Olympia's growth throughout this process and her evolution as an investor. So, Olympia, thanks for coming on and sharing.
Thanks for having me, Brett.
Yeah. So let's start at the beginning. Before this project came to you, or this client, as it was, because as real estate agents, as agent, as investor, we always start out as an agent. But before this flip project, where were you in terms of your understanding and confidence level around investing? Had you bought real estate other than your own primary residence before?
I do own a rental property, and
Mhm.
I've been ready to do a flip years ago. I had the loan and was ready to go, but the market shifted, and I felt like the margins were gonna be too tight, and I just never did it.
Got it. So you, like a lot of real estate agents, you had aspirations to get into the game of investing, even started to save the money to do it, or get the resources lined up. Was it the market? Was it your confidence? Like, what held you back at that point?
I think it was a little of both my confidence, and I got the loan and the funds all ready to go, but the market had shifted in like early 2018, and
Hmm.
I just felt like it was a little risky, and I didn't take the plunge.
Got it. So just kind of put that on the shelf for a while. I got it. And that happens for a lot of us. I too, when I got into as a real estate agent, wanted to become an investor. And it took me, let's see, 2008 it took me 7 years before I actually bought my first property. Well, let's talk about this particular project, which was a great one, and maybe a little bit about how the opportunity came to you and what made you feel right or good about us moving forward on it. What was the backstory on this? This is a property in Cambrian area of San Jose. How did this deal land in your lap?
So this was a repeat client. I had sold another property for her a few years back, and I had done my full service model that, works great for clients where I took care of everything. I financed the upgrades, we put it on the market, and we sold it for top dollar. And then the client netted the profits from us carrying the costs of her upgrades up front. So she called this time on this single family house and said, I just want to sell it. I don't want to do the jazz it up thing. Like, I just want to sell it and get a long rent back and move to my final destination. So that was a clear investor.
Got it. And so, and she told you like she was basically open to entertain off-market offers, like, hey, look, I don't need to fix it up, if you got somebody. And at what point, because I know you and I talked, you said I may have an opportunity, and we ended up eventually, I did put the offer in and do it. But you mentioned what were the things that lined up for you where you're like, okay, let's go with Brett's offer.
So what really lined up for me was that one, the client wanted to sell to an investor. She had reasonable expectations about price. But what I didn't want to do, what I couldn't like morally live with, was not bringing her the best possible price on it. So I did pitch it out to a handful of investors before we decided to go forward with you, and nobody was going to come close to or up to the price that you were willing to offer for it. So I felt really good about proceeding because I knew I wasn't taking advantage.
Got it. Got it. So you knew she would get a fair deal. It was going to be potentially a win-win. And so I said, okay, Olympia, like if we can partner on this, because I want to help you get in the game of investing. And you had the opportunity, because as I allow, any of my partner agents on these investment deals to partner with me and share in the profits. What was it that gave you the confidence that you're like, okay, I think, now this is a good deal and I won't lose money here, or this is a good deal. What was it that gave you that confidence?
I think your, pro forma, I think is the word you would use, your spreadsheet where you lined it all out of like, here's where we're going to be, here's the worst case scenario, what it's going to cost us to get there. It was pretty clear that at the price we came in at, with the upgrades that we knew needed to happen, even if there were variations in the market from where we were going to safely, at the very least, get our investment back and
Yeah.
likely make a profit.
And so what we have on the screen here is what we call our flip estimating spreadsheet. It's the basic flip formula that we teach with agent as investor. And we plugged in those numbers. In fact, I think our original offer was 1.3 and our original renovation budget was closer to 100,000. We did end up going a little over, and we ended up getting the property, I think, for a little bit less. As we recall, we got the inspections. We put that offer in, and the inspections on the termite was pretty bad. In fact, when did you see Olympia those pictures, or actually walk through the property when we did the demo in the bathroom?
I did. I wasn't there on demo day, unfortunately, but I was there on inspection day, and it was,
Yeah, when we opened up the master bathroom, it was like the shower walls were being held together by the termites holding hands. It was pretty crazy. But so it was looking at this spreadsheet that we're seeing now that gave you the confidence. You're like, okay, if we buy this for 1,300,000 and we're gonna make some money that we can share tonight. Okay, cool. And then
Absolutely.
obviously we ended up exceeding our exit price on it. Instead of exiting at 1,650 or 1,700,000, we ended up selling for 1,800,000. And that is where you and I ended up really both winning on this. But the numbers are one thing, I think. Oh, let's take a look at the property itself, and so people can get a sense of what kind and quality of work that you and I are putting out there in the marketplace. Anything you want to say about the property itself? Because this is the only
I
photo that
mean,
we.
1.8 is unprecedented for that neighborhood. When we bought it, there were two other poorly executed flips that had been languishing in that neighborhood for months in the 1.6 range. So the quality of the work and the finished product was really what set it apart. I think it also helped move the needle in that neighborhood for people realizing the value of some of the other stuff that had been sitting on the market. But yeah, the quality was fantastic. I think the design choices really tied it all together. It's just a testament to like what making the right choices are and can do, and not underspending and not overspending in the right and wrong areas.
Yeah, it does make a difference. I always say, I think we paid our stager a design fee to pick tile selections and paint selections rather than just kind of wing it and do it ourselves. And as much as you and I go into properties, I really appreciate what our stagers do to help us pick those like finish selections. The exterior paint color we did that was, it was different than what else was in the neighborhood. I think really helped us hit that number. Anything else you want to add there?
I think the design fee is worth its weight in gold. One, they've just, yeah, we see lots of things, but for me personally, if I had been in charge of picking tiles, I would have agonized over it and then second guessed my choices. And to have someone else do it, it makes it so nice because you can look, you can appreciate their work. And if it's not, your vision, you got to take yourself out of it and go, no, but it's good. They did
Yeah.
a good job.
Agreed. So fast forward to today, Olympia. Before you did this one flip project, you were a little, you wanted to invest but just didn't quite have the confidence. How has your confidence changed or your perspective after seeing how this turned out, and what do you think is now possible for you as an agent and investor?
Confidence is strong for sure. I think now that we know how to break it all down and we've got the template for success, it's pretty repeatable. It felt really good. It felt like we were on the right side of, the whole deal all the way and we got rewarded for it. I think irregardless of timing, we would have been successful. And of course, that's going to elicit confidence. So going forward, I think, it's just sort of looking at every deal as a potential investment. Every client, like, I've got one coming up in a month and, grandma's moving to long-term care and I'm going to offer them my normal full service model, but I'm also going to say, do you guys not want to deal with this? Because we can just explore what a cash offer looks like
Awesome.
every deal.
And as we wrap up, for agents watching who are curious about becoming an investor themselves, or maybe we're in that space where they wanted to invest but just didn't get in the game, what advice would you have for them?
Don't go solo your first time.
Any mindset shifts or things that they should do? Or
I think, yeah, going in with you as a seasoned investor and having the toolkit and your resources and mine combined with the vendors and things like that and our confidence and experience with them, but really going in with a seasoned investor. I never pulled the trigger the first time because it was a lot of dough and 2 or 3 years of experience. And so your brand, your way you did it was just there was no way that we weren't going to be successful. We were just happy to be very successful.
awesome. Well, Olympia, I'm excited to have been able to share this journey with you, help you kind of level up in your mindset and really become an investor. And now that you can do these on your own, I'm happy to partner with you going forward. So thanks for sharing your journey. I think what you've accomplished isn't just a win for you, but for other agents who might not realize like what's possible for them. So any final thoughts in closing?
Thanks for doing this with me. It was great, and I'm happy to do it again.
Let's do it. Let's do it again. For those tuning in, thanks for tuning in as Agent and Investor. And don't just be an agent, be an investor. Have a great one.
Thanks, Rhett.